Hey guys, it's Benjamin with Benjamin's Exotics, and in today's Morph Guide, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most controversial ball pythons to ever exist in the ball python market, which is of course the one and the only spider ball python. Before I get into today's video, I do want to say a few things. Number one, this video is not about the spider ball python wobble, okay? That will be done in a separate video, probably a few weeks down the line, hopefully, if everything that I have kind of planned out goes accordingly. Okay, we're simply looking at how the snakes morph, speaking about the color and patterns, interact with other morphs in the ball python market, and how that color palette can affect other combinations, okay? This is not about the head wobble at all. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So let's go ahead and look at your simple, standard, single gene spider ball python. Now, as you guys can see, this is a massive change from any normal ball python that you're ever going to see. You know, sometimes when we look at like cinnamons and especially yellow belly, spot nose, stuff like that, they're pretty similar to normals, and again, they only really see the differences when you put them with other genes. But with the spider, right off the bat, you can see completely different from any normal. And I'll go ahead and I'll pull out a normal right now just to kind of show you guys how different. And it's not just the pattern, it's the white, the color. I mean, look at that. Hopefully the camera's doing a pretty good job. Look at that. No question at all that these are completely different snakes. I mean, the color's different, the pattern, everything is just, you know, wacko and completely interesting on these spider. And these guys are trying to escape, so come back, little guy. We got to show you for the camera. So the spider ball python, again, the problem for most people isn't really identifying the spiders from the normals. The problem was with other genes. So there are not honestly that many genes that are similar to the spider. You know, with pastel, there's a few things, but with spider, there's really only two genes that are even close to what this looks like. Okay, you have bamboo, but bamboo is a very gray animal, and the other main one is woma. Okay, now there's also hidden gene woma, but that is completely different. People get those confused. Hidden gene womas look nothing like spiders, in my opinion, but womas are actually pretty similar. So I want to help you guys kind of identify womas versus spiders, and by doing so, I'm going to point out all of the traits of the spider ball python. So when we want to talk about woma versus spider, right, one of the big things that can be polygenic, but is a pretty strong indicator, is the webbing down the back of the snake. You know, when we look at this guy, again, this is an exceptionally nice, reduced spider ball python, but generally, your spiders are going to be a lot more connected on this back pattern than your womas. Okay, second thing is that, and again, this could be polygenic, so the problem is that these things that I'm telling you, so the back stripe being more connected and not as broken up, can be polygenic. There are some spiders that have a lot of, you know, broken up back patterns, so that is not the best indicator. But another indicator could be the color. Now, as you guys saw next to the normal, the spider isn't just a pattern mutation, it is also a color mutation, and I'll show you guys that when we look at some spider combos like bumblebees, Mojave spiders, stuff like that. So we're actually getting a different color on the brown. Okay, you can see there's a little bit of black freckling a little bit on the brown color, but for the most part it's a lot lighter than the brown on a normal, and you can see that back is just really, I don't want to say blushed out, but the highlighting on that back is critical, and it's really, really nice on the spider ball python. So compared to the woma, again, we're talking about the color enhancer. The spider's normally going to be more drastic. Normally is the key word, because you can have some woma ball pythons that are also very clean, just like this. So the main indicator for me on the spider ball python, and actually there's one more thing before I say the main dead giveaway from a woma versus a spider, is the head stamp. Another kind of indicator that you'll see on the womas is normally the spiders will have a lot more busy or a lot more intricate head patterns. You can see, look at the head stamp on that guy. That's why I love spider so much. Clown and spider really give you crazy, crazy head stamps and head pattern. On the woma, it normally won't be like that, but again, like I said, just with the coloration, same thing with the back stripe, that can be polygenic, and you could have a Woma with a very cool head stamp. Here's the main giveaway, okay, from a spider compared to a Woma, Hidden Gene Woma, any of that stuff, is the white, okay, bam. Look at the sides of that snake. On your Hidden Gene Womas, you will never see this much white in a snake, and it's not just the white, all the yellow, the orange, this fantastic color coming through on the spider. You will never see that on something like a standard gene, Hidden Gene Woma, and that is one of the reasons the spider is so, fantastic, especially for a single gene combo. We have all these things going on. So the enhanced color, amazing pattern, you know, you can see the stripe and everything. This white makes this very reactive with things like pastel, calico, orange dream, coral glow, banana, all that kind of stuff that also enhances the white on the sides. Spider reacts great with. Head stamp and also the belly. I mean, look at the belly on that snake. Very interesting. You can see the spider web pattern actually comes down the side and basically connects with the belly of that snake, and pretty white. It's actually pretty standard. It's nothing too fancy, but you can see it does throw some gray in there, and it's very, very interesting, and all that white just makes for a really, really fantastic snake. So this is a single gene spider. Hopefully that gives you guys a pretty good idea of what we're working with and how to identify a spider compared to something like a Woma. So let's actually take it up a step and look at a few different spider combos so I can show you guys not only, of course, how to identify the spider, but how it's going to react when you put it with other genes. So here is the morph that really made the spider ball python be popular, period, probably 10, 15, really more, a little bit closer to 20 years ago, and that is the bumblebee ball python. Bam, take a look at that snake. So this is a reaction between the spider and the pastel, and as you can see, even today, that is a fantastic color combination. Now there's a lot of things going on here, and I want to kind of describe, because again, these morph guides, I want these to be basically not just looking at the snake and identifying it from a normal, but understanding how the gene interacts with other morphs. So let's take a look at the pastel. Again, it's not too busy of a morph. We have blushing and stuff like that, but compared to Mojave and lesser, it's not a big pattern changer. So we still have a very, very nice reduced snake. A few spots here or there, but they're pretty small spots. They're not really that significant, and the yellow on this snake is just crazy. Again, we talked about the white and how the pastel and other genes react, and as you can see on this snake, very, very high white, higher white than you're going to see on any spider ball python, and then also that yellow outlining on the spider web patterning going down the side is just fantastic on this snake. So all of this stuff coming together makes this fantastic morph, and you can see why this really had the spider ball python boom in popularity 15 or 20 years ago. It's come down a little bit, and it's still a very important gene, a very important ingredient, but it's not what it once was. But also, now that I'm thinking about it, take a look at the head stamp as well. So on the standard spider, again, it's very polymorphic, very polygenic. There's lots of different ways and lots of different things you can do with the head stamp on the snake, but this is a really nice head stamp on this bumblebee. It's like this curvy, wicked look on the top of the snake's head. Now, I wanted to also basically describe you guys, I mean, we can take a look at the snake's belly as well. Nothing too fancy, it basically just looks like a standard spider, but the thing that I wanted to really help you guys understand is all this crazy yellow, okay? Because lots of people think that when we put these genes together, we're kind of just getting the yellow of the pastel and the pattern of the spider, but this is not entirely the case. Let me actually grab a standard pastel. Now, when I was talking earlier about how the spider ball python actually enhances the color of snakes, this is a perfect demonstration of that being true. So here's a bumblebee, and then here's a pastel. These are the exact same lines, came from the exact same parents, exact same clutch. So I think lots of the times people see these morphs, they think that we're basically taking the color of the pastel, putting it on the spider, and we're just basically changing the pattern. But this is not at all the case. Spider is indeed both a pattern and a color mutation. It is an enhancer. So look at that. Okay, we're not just taking the gold, you know, kind of, it's not really a yellow color, it's basically this gold orange from the pastel and slapping it on top of the spider pattern. We're actually taking this pastel and bringing it to the next level. Just that one single spider gene alone enhances it to be this really nice, clean looking bumblebee. Now again, this is an exceptional bumblebee. Okay, this is not average. You're not going to get this with every single bumblebee. Again, I always try to work with the best of the best pastel and spider lines to create really nice stuff like this. But like you can see, this really does show that the Spyder is an enhancer. And as you can see, compare the heads on those, no comparison. You know, with your pastels, Mojave, stuff like that, pretty standard head, nice, but it's nothing crazy. You throw that Spyder on and boom, we have this really crazy reaction. And you can get all kinds of head stamps. And just like with a pied, with the different levels of white being unique to every single snake, you're never going to get another spider ball python that's going to have exactly a head stamp just like this. It is individual to every single snake that you produce, which is also an excellent identifier if you're trying to keep track of different kinds of snakes in your collection. But again, this is just a fantastic example of what you can do with the spider ball python. So without making this video too long, I also do want to show you guys one or two more Spyder combinations to really give you guys a good idea of how Spyder reacts with other genes. And here is a combination that you probably don't see all that often. Now this is actually a Mojave Spyder. Now this is actually, to me at least, a very interesting combination, because when we talked about like the pastel with the Spyder coming together to make the bumblebee, we actually have the pastel and the Spyder really working together. You know, the pastel is a pattern mutation a little bit. It busies things up a little bit, but it's pretty reduced. And when you put it with the Spyder, you get this really nice high yellow and the, you know, like you saw on the bumblebee, high white sides and crazy head pattern, all this stuff. But when we put Spyder and Mojave together, we're getting a much different reaction. So Mojave is not like pastel in the way that it doesn't actually work with Spyder. It actually almost works against Spyder. And as you can see, all of the things that I talked about with the original Spyder aren't actually here in this snake for the most part. Like with the original Spyder, I talked about not much black freckling, pretty reduced. Like you can see, we have all of this black freckling coming in the side of this snake, which is a positive and a negative, depending on what you want to make. We have all this blushing that you didn't have on the original Spyder, blushing along the back, a lot thicker pattern as well. If you look at if you look at the comparison between the bumblebee and this, you're going to see this is a lot thicker, and of course you can see the blushing going down, more spots, not really any yellow at all. And if you look at the sides as well, all of that high white has actually kind of been eliminated on this snake, whereas when you look at Orange Dream and Pastel and, you know, Calico, even Banana, Coral Glow, all that stuff, it actually works with the white sides, and all those genes are actually in themselves almost having higher white sides. So when you put it with the Spyder, we're getting a really cool reaction, whereas with the Mojave, it's actually kind of the opposite. The Mojave doesn't have any increase in the white color, so hence it actually works against the Spyder. We actually have almost eliminated all of the high white pattern from this snake. Now to me, this is a building block. Again, there's a lot more we can do with the snake to make it look a lot better, but since we have this really cool Mojave sandy color, we can add things like Orange Dream, Fire, maybe even add Pastel back into this combo to make some really cool things. But like you can see, the Spyder is really interesting. Sometimes it works with genes like the Pastel and it kind of just amplifies the things that the Spyder already had, or sometimes you put it with something like a Mojave and it doesn't really work with it. We kind of just have this new, really interesting creation. But as you can see, again, different head stamp. Look at that. Completely different from the bumblebee. And this can actually help you identify different snakes in your collection. Would you ever mix them up? If you know what the head stamps look like, pretty easy to identify because they're going to be unique to each animal. And again, pretty standard belly, a little bit more reduced than on the classic Spyder, but again, this is a very nice combo, but again, more of a building block to something really cool in the future. Now this is the last Spyder ball python combination that I'm going to show you guys in today's video, and this is actually, to me at least, a stunner and a real powerhouse for a 2-gene morph. So let's actually make sure we're getting a pretty good shot in the camera of this. We can kind of adjust a little bit, and this is actually a combination between the spider ball python and the pinstripe, and this is what we call a spinner. So this is a very interesting animal. This is almost an in-between animal between the two kind of reactions we just talked about. So we looked at the basic bumblebee ball python, so the pastel and the Spyder, we have the genes working together, it just basically amplifies what the Spyder does. Mojave is basically the opposite. They're actually pretty combative, and the two genes are working against each other, but they create something that's pretty interesting. This is somewhere in the middle. You know, pinstripe isn't extremely reduced. It definitely has a lot more black pigment in it, in the brown, and it definitely is not an enhancer like the Spyder is, but when these two genes come together, we get something really cool. Now again, kind of like with the pastel, the pinstripe doesn't amplify the white on the sides, but unlike the Mojave, it doesn't eliminate it. So it actually comes together to form this really interesting yellow and orange. When I say orange, I really do mean orange color on the side of this snake, and all of this white that you didn't have with the Mojave, and you also really don't have with the bumblebees either. And it's kind of weird why this reaction happens, but it's like this way with most spinners. This is a pretty exceptionally nice spinner, but you'll see this pretty standard thing with most of the spinners, which is of course the pinstripe and the spider. And as you can see also, head stamp, again, completely unique to this snake, but it is a lot more reduced than the bumblebee, and that is an effect of the pinstripe. And man, especially, I mean, if you're just getting started and you want a really nice 2-gene snake that is really a great bang for the buck, this is it. I mean, completely different from a normal, completely different from most things. And then once you start layering other genes on top of this, especially color changing genes, you know, Orange Dream, Fire, Banana, Coral Glow, all that kind of stuff. Maybe even Calico would even amplify the sides even more. This is a really, really nice snake that can do a lot. Now this specific one is also het for clown, so that could be influencing the sides maybe a little bit, not really that much. And this is also, again, this is a pretty standard spinner, but again, just goes to show you what the spider can do when put with the right combinations. This is, I mean, for a first person that's just getting their first pet, I think this makes a great snake. But also, if you want a nice building block that can help you go to the next level, I think this is a great place to start, because you can busy up the pattern, reduce it even more, bring in more whites and all this stuff. Now you will actually see on the belly of this, we have a lot more of a reduced belly compared to the classic spider, and that again is an influence of the pinstripe. But again, reduced spider, just this crazy snake that just doesn't really make sense. All of this stuff is what you can produce when working with the spider gene in ball pythons. So I hope you guys did enjoy and most importantly benefit from today's video. Again, today I want to try a little bit more of a professional setup. You know, normally I kind of just run and gun and go through the racks and try to show the snake's colors and patterns, but hopefully with this different setup, using the white background, a little bit different lighting and stuff like that, it gave you guys a better idea of what I'm talking about and helped you guys understand the morphs we were talking about a little bit better compared to previous videos. So if you guys like this new setup, if you don't like the new setup, leave all that down in the comment section below. If you guys did like today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. What was that? Looks like somebody was making a noise and trying to hook up with the female as I was trying to end the video. But this is kind of a sneak peek. Awesome Coral Glow male trying to be bred to the Mojave female. But that's for a future video.